understanding why you attract married men and how to break the pattern. I want to have this conversation. Who doesn't want to have this conversation? This conversation is a conversation worth having. And I'm going to be telling you why you particularly find yourself always being duped by a married man, or being seduced by a married man, or have like a plethora of married men, and you're like, leave me alone. I want to get married and have a family of my own, and you just keep offering me rubbish. And maybe some of us have fallen into the trap, but we are going to have this conversation, so stay tuned and I'll see you on the other side. Hello, my name is Chengi. I am your dating and relationship expert here at the Black Swan Relationship Academy, where we teach you ladies how to present as a high value, high status, and high worth woman. Can I get an amen? Yes! If that is you, you are absolutely on the right channel. And can I tell you something? This is our best kept secret. You are in for a treat, because you know, treasures, sometimes if this showed up on your feed, it's meant for you. This is a wonderful little treasure hidden in the digital space, and you get to be a part of all the conversations that happen in our Black Swan world. Just like any Black Swan, we're complete mysteries and we're not obvious, but we're always coming. What can I say? Okay. Enough of that. Let's talk about why you actually clicked on this video. And if you're having fun already, just make sure you like, subscribe, comment, and do all that fun stuff that we all need you to do so you can support this channel. Just to make it really clear, every woman, everywhere, all the time, attracts married men. Okay? I know that when it keeps happening to you, it could feel like I cursed or something. Like, what the what? And as we get older, this becomes very prolific. I don't think it's because it happens more. I think we notice it more, because often as we get older, we are looking for that connection. We desire that connection more than when we're younger. When we're younger, we had so many options that we didn't notice it as much. And we also were not interested or sold out to the idea of getting married ourselves. So we didn't really feel the impact of having so many suitors that were married, which really says a lot about a lot of marriages, don't you agree? But it also says a lot about how men view sexuality, and really how, and I'm not going to go into it too much because it'll end us taking us up onto a 1 hour long conversation, and I want to keep this video short. Please join us on Tuesdays for our longer discussions with the coaches, and maybe we can discuss this a little bit further in our lives. But for today, I just want to give you a few pointers. Like I've said in one of my reels, stroke shorts, stroke TikToks, a lot of men do not marry the women that they're in love with. It's often if a man met a woman when he at a certain point in his life and she broke his heart, that recovery may never have happened. Eventually, he just chooses a woman that makes sense to him, to his family, and settles with her. At some point, she seems okay, let's get on with it. Unfortunately, many men don't end up with the woman that they truly love. It's sad, but because a man can generally get it up for pretty much any kind of woman within reason, it's not as hard an ask as it is for a woman, because for us, we're naturally way more selective. Our bodies need to like the person, and we know that if that affection and that loving feeling is missing in the relationship, we're going to struggle hugely sexually. And many women who have taken that road have had insane difficulties in the bedroom in these relationships, and we've grown up watching them. So we as women are way more committed to having an emotional connection, a true authentic connection, And sometimes it is very possible, and happens a lot to us women, that we often fall in love with a man who is not in love with us. And so this plays itself out in a lot of people's marriages, where this man will give you the honor of the title, the family, the provision. You are the one that he takes the most care, responsibility for, but you are not the one he desires the most. There are mistresses that are loved. His heart is for her, but he already made a commitment elsewhere. What really matters in this case is that you are a single woman. You want to meet the love of your life. You're ready to get married, build a family, build a legacy, have your own life, have your own home, and have your own love story. But all you get are all of these married men making you an offer. And you get to a point, and you might not all be at this point, but you get to a point where it feels like, right? Like, please go away. You are disgusting to me. You are disgusting, right? And sometimes it can make you feel like you're losing hope in men and the ability to have some fidelity, because it can really leave you with a bad feeling about men in general and make you feel a little bit insecure when you are in your relationship, because it's so normal, it's so casual for them to stray, that it can leave a bad taste in your mouth. But that's not always true for all of us. Some of us are at a stage where they are making you a fantastic offer. There is no one sexier than a married man. Come on, let's face it, girls. A married man has a woman taking care of him. He looks good. He's confident because he's not out here chasing women for sexual stability as a single guy would, who is desperate and wants to secure his family. He has more nervous energy, more anxiety, more skin in the game. This guy's got a whole family at home. He's got a whole wife. He's got a whole system, a whole family. He's doing this for sport. So his confidence levels are high. His grooming is great because there's somebody to, give him that, you look good, honey, don't wear that. Or somebody washing and ironing and cleaning, or somebody choosing his wardrobe. Married men, of course, are way more delicious. So some of us might be at a point in our lives where we're thinking, gosh, this guy has so much more to offer than the single guy who, is still struggling. This guy can take care of me. He can support me. And half the time he can do all of that is because he's making the woman at home do all the financial heavy lifting, the family heavy lifting, the parenting, and he saves his money for his extracurricular activities. It's really a cruel game, to be honest, that is played when men do this. But they are coming out in their droves. I think that for the 46 years I have been on this planet, I have, yes, seen, it's known, but it was something that was shameful and humiliating, and it was something that was done in the back and nobody admitted to it, and it was very hush-hush. But now it's out here. I mean, yeah, it's out here. Okay. Married men are out here competing for relationships with single men. And the sad story is that there are a lot of single men who encourage it, don't speak against it, think it's kind of cool, sometimes even feel these men are entitled, especially if they're wealthy. Think, well, he's entitled to be with as many women as he likes. He's worked so hard. He's so entitled to all these women, not knowing that, well, they are swallowing up the marketplace. The girl that you want to talk to, that pretty one, she's dating a married guy. The married guy that you say is entitled to her. You have to understand that polygamy was something that was ended because it was to make relationships and love fair for other men, because only the wealthy, rich men had wives and the poor men didn't. And so the whole idea was to make sure that polygamy became illegal in many countries, to ensure that every man had a chance at least finding a mate. But it seems like a lot of single men are on board with polygamy. They're even planning on a polygamous lifestyle, not understanding that what that does, it doesn't entitle you to multiple wives, because you have to be filthy stinking rich to be able to do that. comfortably and conveniently without getting a headache. It entitles those men. When you promote it, you're entitling other men to be with your wife, to have your wife, to have your potential girlfriend. And I don't think single men understand the gravity of this. They have zero idea of what is going on, and the fact that that married guy is dating 3 or 4 of potentially the mates that he would have had access to. And that married guy is not making it okay for her to have boyfriends, especially if he is taking care of him. And so until other men start to really frown upon and hold those married men to account, I fear that a lot of single guys will die alone, because these married men are aggressively pursuing with focus, intention to grab as many attractive, beautiful, juicy women as possible. And I can't see how that would feed into a man thinking that, yeah, you go ahead and do that, more power to you. I think that's problematic. And you know, in nature, women don't mind sharing a man per se, because he is, in terms of the survival mechanism, as long as he can provide for all of them. You'll find in polygamous relationships, as long as he can provide equally for all of them, they tend to be okay to be the 10th wife, the 9th wife of a very, very, very wealthy man. And so women will, if put in a situation where it utmost survival, will be married to one man. Obviously, if you live in the Western world and you've been raised in a monogamous culture, that is going to be abhorrent for you to hear. You probably are shuddering like, oh my God, why would anybody want that? And if you're Christian, you're going to have, you know, your doctrinal views on polygamy and monogamy. And I understand that there's a whole divide around that and the whole conversation going on in the Christian world. But however you look at it, there are people in the world who are happy with polygamy. And in those worlds, the rich, the kings, the princes, they get the pick of the litter, and the common guy, well, he takes his chances, right? So that's sort of the layout, the whole kind of big layout. But why you? Like I said, that's everybody. The question we need to be asking is, why do you select them? I want to thank you so much for your support of this channel. You mean the world to me. And I am so grateful that your likes, your subscriptions, your comments make this work possible. I'd really want to encourage you, before you go any further, if you are enjoying this content, hit that like button, subscribe, and share this video with somebody that you know will absolutely benefit, because you're changing not only your life, not only the life of your friends, but the lives of women all over the world, and children in ways you cannot even begin to imagine. So don't forget, before we get back to the program, to hit that like button and share, subscribe, and comment. Thank you. You know, if you look at your list of suitors, right, you'll find that not all of them are married. Some of them are single. And part of why you select them is the reason I gave earlier. It's because the married man is always going to stand out head and shoulders above your single guy who's still trying to find his way in this world. And so you notice that the men that you do like, they're taken. So you feel like all these married men are taken and they just want to waste my time. But it's not necessarily true. You will have a lot of suitors too who are single, but the married guys, those are the ones that are juicier to you, and for the reasons I've explained. Number 2 is you're probably a confident and independent woman. And there's something about a confident and independent woman, especially if you're a married man who probably can't afford to look after her and the wife, but you want sexual variety. A confident woman, an independent woman, is going to be a little bit more attractive than the woman who's at home, who's probably the housewife or the kept wife, who depends on him, who relies on him for validation, for feeling good, for feeling important, for being present. She places so much weight on him as a man, And he just wants somebody who doesn't need him, who's effervescent, who's confident, who's independent, who he can look at as an equal, and that can be super sexy. So you will find that when a man sometimes is a stay-home mom and, you know, she's dependent and she's, you know, kind of needs him emotionally quite a lot, he can be attracted to you if you're confident and independent. And don't you find that if you're a confident and independent woman, that you do get a lot of attention from either feminine men or married men, right? Because they love to be in that energy field. Now, there's nothing you can do about that. You can't lower your confidence or be less independent so you can attract available men. What you have to understand, though, is that you're going to be very selective, but you're also going to expose yourself to a wider market so that you can give yourself the best possible chance of meeting a mate, right? So if you're confident and independent, you really can't afford to be having low numbers passing through. You need to really be putting yourself in a private members club, in a tennis club, somewhere on the golf course. It's somewhere where you are going to have a lot of footfall, if you like, a lot of options that are in your caliber. Single men, they'll be attracted to your independence and confidence because it resonates as a sexy energy that they would love to conquer, you know? You are unavailable to them. You are the one woman they can't have. One of the things that men love is a challenge, and you are the forbidden fruit. So you are unavailable, you're not interested. I had a situation with a gentleman who was married and he just wouldn't take no for an answer. And even though I was point blank, very clear, but our business arrangement and situation made it impossible at that time to cut him off because we had met under such a circumstances. So I kept it clear and I kept it friendly, but he just wouldn't stop in one way or the other, throwing gifts or trying to buy me gifts, trying to invite me to places, trying to do all these things. It was very charming. He tried to keep it above board as much as he could, but he was developing this ridiculous obsession with me. And that was simply because I was very clear that I was unavailable. And he said to me, "Oh my goodness, you're a challenge. You're a challenge to me." And I was thinking, no, a challenge is something you can get. I'm not a challenge, I'm an impossibility. But that was actually a turn on. So some men just like the fact that you're unavailable to them, that you're not open to them, that you're not interested in them. And that gets them excited because it's a little bit of a chase. The other point is, if you're a woman that gives a lot of emotional support to men, if you have that sisterly, maternal, nurturing energy, and you give a lot of emotional support, and you're there for them and you support them, a married man will start to think that you are the perfect woman. A married man will start to think, oh, she understands me, not understanding that you're just showing him some empathy. This is why married men end up with their secretary or the woman, their PA, the woman that supports them at work, that doesn't question them, that is in a submissive role in the workforce. That woman seems to him like the better woman, especially if he is at home maybe with somebody who's less agreeable. So it's really about understanding that if you're somebody who's quite soft, nurturing, sweet, caring, attentive, listening, then you are going to attract certain married men, and a lot of them because they can confuse that nurture for love. If you happen to share a love for masculine sport or masculine activities, or at least traditionally known masculine activities, you happen to be that girl who's happy to be under the bonnet, under the hood of the car. You are, under the car, I think that's what it's called. You're happy to change your own tires. You're happy to be in the bar drinking a beer. And if you're that boisterous, kind of happy to be with the boys, that will also attract the married man. There's sense of, she's like me, she's more comfortable to me, oh my goodness, we can have this resonance and this synergy. And so they can be drawn to you because in many ways you're accessible in a way that other women are not. And of course, if you're emotionally unavailable, you are truly convenient because he knows that you can have a sexual affair and not get clingy. I mean, think about it. If you want a woman who you're not married to stay a secret and be happy with it, find one that is emotionally unavailable. These are all frequencies. These are all energies. These all come from within ourselves. We carry an energy signature, every single one of us. And if you have no idea what I'm talking about, you can go and enroll in the Energy Mastery Masterclass at the Black Swan Relationship Academy, where you will see what I mean. If you are a good, godly girl, I talk through energy using scripture so you understand exactly where scripture touches on the issue of energy and why it is biblical and spiritual. And if you're not Christian, you will still understand it because you will understand it so holistically. There is an explanation for wherever you're coming from, but trust me, do that course so you understand that above all else, it's an energy signature. It's a vibrational energy that goes out because we are energetic beings. We do have a magnetic field around us, and we do pull into us what is within us. And so don't think you are a terrible person or you were cursed in any way. Just understand that it's how the world works. This is how certain married men move, and many of them are not shamed in their communities for being that way. They're applauded by a lot of men for being that way. And you know, other men will even cover their tracks, and other men will even lie to their wives, and you know, it's this acceptable thing within men's spaces that of course there's going to be a lot of them coming out, and it's really up to you to own your no and to just keep saying it until somebody else comes along, or work on some of your emotional stuff, work on some of your emotional mastery, and work on your energy mastery, all of which can be found at the Black Swan Relationship Academy.com. I will see you on my next video. If you have any questions, like to ask me anything, download the Black Swan app and you will see the coaches and I in there. We're happy to be here for you, and don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment. I will see you on my next video. In the meantime, do take care of you.
Simple steps to join Black Swan community. Download the Black Swan app from either Google Play Store or Apple Store. Launch the app and tap on register. Put in your valid information, then tap on continue. Put in the verification code sent to your email to authenticate your account. Then log into your account. Be sure to accept all permissions displayed at installation stage to enjoy all the cool features in the app. You can now enjoy community of high-value women with support from coaches and trainers. Book calls with coaches, chat, post, and interact with the community. Enjoy!